in Sauk County as a practical application of the Sauk County Regional Archaeology Program. Few subjects of late years more engage the minds of scientific antiquities than the mounds in the valley of the Mississippi. It is in reality a one fought with much interest, and from which the veil of obscurity has never been drawn. And unless future investigations may illustrate facts which will aid the curious in tracing these antiquities to their origin, it is feared that the mystery will never remain unsolved. Stephen Taylor, 1843. Our presentation, we're going to aim to solve a portion of this mystery. Our original proposal was to synthesize over 100 years of archaeological research and plot it onto USGS topographical maps. With this new information, we would inspect correlations with criteria such as elevation, vegetation, soil type, and proximity to water. Our synthesis included the work of these 5 men: Increase Lapham, William Canfield, Theodore Lewis, Arlo Stout, and Charles Brown. They extensively mapped the location of these mounds from the mid-1800s to the mid-1900s. Our sample included all of the original documents from these men, which produced a total of 146 mound groups across the county. With the 146 locations, we plotted them on the USGS topographic maps and studied the correlations between their location, soil type, elevation, and proximity to water. And I'm going to let Madison dig into the soil.
Here I have a list of generalized soil types. In order from larger particles to smaller particles, there is sand, silt, and clay. Then there is a mixture of all 3 of these soil types, which is known as loam. There are different forms of loam. Silt loam is a mixture with the majority being silt. Loamy sand is a mixture with the majority being coarse sand, and sandy loam is a mixture with the majority being fine sand. As you can see, roughly 75% of the soils are some form of loam, and 50% being specifically silt loam. In conclusion, silt loam may have been preferred because it stays together very well and changes shape easily, so it is good for packing down. It may have been desired because loam is light and fluffy, so it would have been easy to dig up and transport to the mound construction site. Right, now let's fall into elevation with Taylor.
So mine and Todd's research goal is to see if we could find any possible correlation between mounds or elevation, or no correlation at all. So you can understand our data, this is just a brief overview of Sauk County's elevation. The highest point in Sauk County is 1,593 feet above sea level at Sauk Point. The average elevation of Sauk County is about 194 feet, and just as a reference point, the elevation of Baraboo is 979 feet. So after determining the elevation of each specific site, we plugged it into a spreadsheet and we came up with the scatter point. This is our site numbers, this is the elevation. As you can see, there's a cluster of mounds that occur between 800 and about 950. We found that between 700 and 799 feet, we had about 31 groups. Between 800 and 899 feet, we had 65 groups, which is our largest spread. And between 900 and 999 feet, we had 37 groups, and we had 14 groups 1,000 feet or higher. Our conclusion was that elevation was not a factor in mound location. You might be asking, if 65 groups is almost half of all the mound groups in our sample occurred between 800 and 899 feet, wouldn't there be a correlation? Well, me and Todd put our heads together and we decided that there's no correlation because the average height of Sauk County is 894 feet above sea level. So therefore, most of the land is about 190 feet, so you would expect most mounds to be built at that elevation. Let's let Harley dip her toes into water proximity.
My portion of this project was measuring mound proximity to mound sites, there seemed to be a general trend between mound locations and waterways. To me, this was a welcome sign. Using actual measurements divided into categories of less than or equal to 0.25 miles, less than or equal to 0.5 miles, less than or equal to 0.75 miles, less than or equal to 1 mile, and greater than 1 mile, I found that the majority of Sauk County Native American burial mounds were within 1 mile of a waterway. Of those within 1 mile, 79.45% were less than or equal to 0.25 miles away from a water source. With over 3/4 of 146 Native American burial mounds within 1/4 mile of a water source, it is safe to say there is a definite correlation between mound locations and water. The unknown is still why. Possible explanations include the use of mounds as waterway street signs, or possibly as territorial markers. In conclusion, there is a strong correlation between loamy soils, proximity to waterways, and mound locations. There doesn't, however, seem to be a correlation between elevation and mound locations. It is also important to note that when more